Welcome to the fourth episode of Yusuf Meets, where I'm joined by our fourth guest, Jonny Howson. Jonny, how you doing, mate?
Very good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Really looking forward to this chat with yourself. So
Yeah.
obviously you're now captain. How does that feel?
Obviously very nice. A proud moment. I think throughout my football career, even going back to the start, I wanted to create memories, if you like, or achievements. First and foremost, you want to do it as a team, but it is a team sport, and that's how I've judged majority of my success. But along the way, there has been some nice accolades and personal experiences that will be remembered longer than my career will be, and this is one of them as well.
So when did you find out you were captain? 'Cause obviously at the start of the season, the gaffer said it was going to be Britt. And then I think Britt was on the bench for a few games, and then when he was on the bench or when he was injured, you were obviously captain. So when did he officially tell you were going to be promoted as the official captain?
Yeah, well, as you say there, I've done it a few times, when Brett hadn't maybe started a game or whatever it may be. And then I think it was the Cardiff game. And Brett was starting as well, and he'd mentioned I was captain. He pulled me in before the game and said, "You go be captain." And he'd spoke to Brit previous. I'd spoke to Brit then once I'd found out, because I wasn't aware at the time. He fully accepted it. We all know the situation of it was changing roles, and we've got on fine with it. But I'm obviously extremely proud. But at the same time, respect goes to Brit as well, for passing it on.
So what exactly is different then in terms of from being a captain to not being a captain? Because I think Britt, before he was appointed the captaincy, one of the questions he was asked was, "Are you going to change as a captain?" And he said he wasn't going to change; he was going to be doing exactly the same thing. Are you of the same ilk, or are you going to change a little bit? Because obviously, in any job, when you're given like a job promotion, say you're, I don't know, working on the floor, and then you become like team leader or whatever, there's a level of responsibility and whatnot. Do you feel like you had extra responsibility, or were you literally going to be doing the exact same thing as you'd be doing anyway?
From my point of view, I'd say no. There's no hiding. I am the oldest player in the side. And even previous to when I wasn't captain, I'd want lads to know that they could come to me and ask me for advice, whatever it may be. And I could maybe offer that to them, and that's still there now. Yeah, okay, you've got off the pitch maybe odd couple of more things to do. But regards to the pitch, I'm someone that'll lead by example. I'm not going to start shouting or changing the way I go about things drastically, because, let's be honest, that's not me. And I think when you go away from being yourself, it gets picked up on, and it's, let's be honest, it's fake, and it doesn't have the same effect. Where I think the best effect that you're going to get from not just a captain but individuals is when players are themselves, and people will respect that. So yeah, there'll be no real change. And as I said, I believed even before I got the role of captain, I'd want lads to know that they could come to me with anything, and I'd always want to help lads out. That's going to benefit, first and foremost, the team and the individual as well.
Definitely. And he obviously said that you lead by example. Obviously, we've got a lot of young players in the squad. We've got an amazing academy. And I remember I went to an under-23s game last season, and you probably weren't aware of it, but they had a bit of an injury issue. So yeah, Tyrone O'Neill, who trained with the first team, he is obviously a 6'3", 6'4" striker, but because he had injury problems, he was playing holding midfield. And I feel the fact that he obviously saw you playing so many different positions and just getting on with it, that's the impact and the effect that it probably has on a lot of the young players. Is that something that you set out to kind of achieve? Because if you look at other professionals, they are adamant. My position is this. This is my position. I'm not going to play anywhere else, kind of thing, which you sometimes see. But with you, I don't think you've ever complained about whether you're going to play right back, centre back, holding midfielder, right wing, left wing. I mean, is that something that you deliberately tried to kind of instill in the other lads?
No, that's probably more from a personal point of view. I've always had the belief, and I've always looked at it of I'd prefer to be playing out of position than not playing. And that's been the case throughout my career, not even going back to a time at Leeds. Sometimes I'd maybe play right midfield or things like that. Went to Norwich, done similar sort of thing. And obviously then at Middlesbrough, I obviously had to play right back for a bit, played centre back, and I've always had that view, as I said, I prefer to be playing out of position than not all. The worst thing for me is being sat on the bench, and certainly going more for last season when the manager had asked me if I could play right back and then centre back. I just have that view of see it as a challenge. Don't look at you playing out of position or whatever. You know, first and foremost, it's a positive that a manager thinks you can maybe go and play out of position and doing the job. You know, he's not going to do it to harm the team or anyone. He's probably looking at you that you maybe can do that. So, as I say, I saw it as a challenge, and I'm all looked up to maybe like a Milner, who were obviously a different level, but had done it at Liverpool, played left back for a majority of the season, done ever so well, and I just saw that as a challenge. But as you say, regards to other players, everyone's different. Everyone has their own beliefs. And someone maybe want to do it. You know, I believe it's a mindset thing. You know, we've all got ability. That's why we're at this level. And it's how you approach things or what mindset you have going into it.
Definitely. And you joined in 2017. So I think you're one of Gary Monk's first signings. Might have been his first comment for either you or Cyrus Christie. What made you join the club? So I think 2 years earlier, obviously Norwich had beaten us when you were with them in the playoff final. Then the following season, Norwich got relegated, we got promoted, and then we got relegated. Norwich stayed in the same division. So what made you decide to, because to Norwich fans, that might, or to football fans in general, it's kind of a sideways step to go from one championship club to another championship club. What made you decide to go to Middlesbrough?
A few reasons. I was ready for a new challenge. You know, I love my time at Norwich, love the place, love the club, you know, and thoroughly enjoy my time there. But I was just ready for a new challenge, something different. I wanted to get back up north as well. But not just that. Yeah, okay, Middlesbrough had a disappointing season in being relegated from the Premiership, but they was looking to bounce straight back, you know, and the intent was there for everyone to see. And I wanted to be a part of that. I'm fully aware of the club, good support. As you mentioned there, Norwich had played Middlesbrough a few times over them past previous years. So you're fully aware, you know, but looked at the team, it had a good core, a good squad, some good lads here. And, you know, as I say, start of that season, it was looking very promising. Yeah, okay, it didn't work out to maybe what they wanted, but that's life and that's football. Not everything goes to plan, not everything goes that way. And I certainly won't change anything. You know, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here as well, and still enjoy my time.
So who did you know when you arrived? Because I think you played with Clayton at Leeds, and I think, was it Bamford and the short spell at Norwich on loan? Was there anyone else that you knew?
Danny Ayala, he'd been to Norwich a bit as well. But then, as I say, we'd played against each other numerous times over the previous 3 or 4 seasons or whatever it may be. And you get that mutual respect from playing against players, certainly when you've played them a few times. So yeah, okay, I maybe personally didn't know some of the lads, but you had an idea of what kind of characters they had. And, you know, to be honest, nowadays people come and go all the time. And you get to know each other fairly quick.
So why do you think it went wrong in that first season under Gary Monks? Obviously, we spent so much money, on good championship players, the likes of yourself, Cyrus Christie, Britt Sonvalonga. We kept a few of the lads like Adama Traore, Ben Gibson. I mean, why did we quite not manage to go past that final finishing line?
Yeah, we'd obviously got to the playoffs, and I believe playoffs is a lottery. It isn't even playing field when you get in them playoffs. Not too sure. Let's be honest. There could be a few reasons. Everyone will have different opinions. A lot of change. Sometimes it takes time to settle, get used to it, and these things can happen. As you said, with all the players that came in had ability. Some have gone on to better things or higher standards. Some have dropped down, and that's part and parcel of football. Sometimes things work, sometimes it don't. And as I say, it can take time. Things can take time, but the problem is this day and age. Sometimes you don't have that season or 2 seasons, whatever, for it to happen. And as I say, that's what can happen. But there's no denying when the start of that season, it was obviously looking very promising.
And for you personally, how was it? Because I think it's fair to say that you struggled in that first season in terms of your role and in terms of your personal sort of performances. How did you see the season for you personally, and why do you think you never performed to the level that you did at Norwich and at Leeds before that?
Same sort of thing, I'd say. Sometimes things take time. In football, whether you've just moved clubs or whether you've been somewhere a few years, you go through ups and downs. Your form can be going, everything can just be happening, working right, and then, as I've found out, everything can go against you or just not work. And I think, looking back now, the problem that I personally had was probably trying too hard. You was wanting to do well too much, so you're probably doing things that you're not naturally doing, or you're not relaxing, and you may be rushing a pass that, rather than taking your time. And it was tough. And then obviously when the side ain't doing well, that sometimes can drag you through if your own personal game's not great, but the lads around you are doing well. So similar sort of thing to the team. There could have been a fair few things. But as I say, that's part and parcel of football. And I always had the belief of whether it's going for you or not, you keep going, you keep working hard, you keep doing what you believe in, trying the things that's got you to this level or got you to this stage. And as I said, if things can turn around, and I believe at certain times they have done.
So obviously Pulis then comes in, and it's another challenge for you, because obviously I think he dropped you quite early on. We signed Besic on loan, and then I think was it Norwich, funnily enough, you might have got dropped on the bench, and then you were kind of out the side, and I think a few games later you got subbed off after the 20 minutes against Burton as well. So it was a bit of a struggle.
I don't need to remind me of that. My mate's giving me a stick because it is for it.
Of course. But essentially, the point I'm trying to come across is it's another challenge for yourself, because obviously Pulis maybe didn't rate you so highly, but by the end of it, you were the first name on the team sheet. Would you agree with that?
I won't big myself up too much because that's just how I am, but possibly so. That's for others to discuss. But you're going to have setbacks or knockbacks in football or in life. To me, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. And I'd had it under previous managers, where I'd have a bit of a spell out of the side, and what can you do to get back in the side, or what can you do to help the side out, or whatever. And that's how I looked at it. A similar sort of thing to the positions that I mentioned. Just look at different challenges. Yeah, okay, you might not be in the side, and it's frustrating because you've got 20 lads all wanting to play for You know, 11 spots, and some are going to miss out at different stages. But what can you do to help the team, to help the players that are gonna be playing, to keep them on the toes? And certainly in the Championship, it's a long, hard season, and players will get injured, players will get suspended, and you've got to be ready then as an individual when you're called upon. And that's just how I looked at it. Yeah, okay, I was frustrated. If you don't play, it'd be no different now. But what can you do to get back in that side or help the team out? And that's what you've got to do. And don't think that'll ever change, of having that attitude. And I think if it did change, it's maybe a time that you start winning.
Definitely. And I remember the Norwich game that you were on the bench. Like, I saw something that I don't normally see at a match. I think you were warming up and they were singing Super Jonny Howson. And then when you came on, they gave you a massive round of applause. You know, and every time you play against Leeds, they give you a round of applause as well. I don't think I've seen a professional player get that much love from his former clubs.
Yeah, when you mentioned the Norwich one there before, that's one thing that's stuck in my mind. And as you mentioned, when I've been back to Leeds, they've given me a nice applause or response. And same when it happened at Norwich. And I'll be honest, moments like that mean more to me than having a good game, scoring a great goal, whatever it may be. Because I look at that and I think, don't matter how good of a player you've been, but I think if your attitude's been right, you've always give it your best shot, worked hard, being honest. You know, to leave a club, go back with someone else, and they give you that response, it means one must have done all right, but also there's a massive amount of respect there. You know, from my point of view, it goes the other way. But as I said, them two moments when I went back to Norwich and when I've been back to Leeds are they are two of the biggest things that have happened to me in my football career.
Also, you're someone who doesn't really use social media. I think only you and Duncan Watmore might be the only players in the squad that don't have any social medias. Is there any specific reason why? I mean, surely you have at least WhatsApp. Do you have WhatsApp?
I just send carrier pigeon if I want a message to someone. I have WhatsApp. I have an iPhone as well. Is that classed?
Okay.
Yeah. There could be a fair few reasons, if I'm honest. I've got to be half careful with what I say because, you know, majority of people are on social media now. I look at it I'll answer it professionally rather than I would answer it to some of my mates or some of the lads in here. I look at it I think it can be a good platform. It can also be a horrendous platform, as we've seen at this minute in time, you know, with different things going on. From my point of view, I look at it if I have a bad game on a Saturday, mistake, I know in myself if I've had something or if I've not performed right or if I've cost the team, whatever it may be. And I don't think I could handle so many fans then writing on or giving me stick when I know in myself whether I've done well or not. And the other thing that I look at, which is a massive thing for me, is, you know, we are under the spotlight even more so due to social media than how the media is. But a big thing for me is private life. I'm massive into private life, and there's certain things I don't want people to know. So there's a side to me that I want to keep to close friends and family without people from the outside, if you like, or don't actually know me, getting involved in.
So is there anything like what is Jonny Howson then off the field that you're happy to share, basically?
Just a normal lad. You know, I was just a normal lad from Leeds. Grew up like majority of other people from Leeds or other towns. Grew up, went to school, was fairly good at football, and I'm now in a very fortunate and privileged position, but it's not without hard work and dedication to get there. But, you know, take that to the side. I'm no different to any other lad from Leeds. No better, no worse off. You know, we've all had different paths that we've gone down. And that's how I'll always want to be. You know, I've looked at things of, I could take it if people said, I'm no good at football, I can't run, I can't pass, can't tackle, whatever. I can take that. That's a matter of opinion. If someone questioned my attitude or the way that I behaved off of the field, I couldn't take that, because that's what I look at and that's what I pride myself on. I can take, as I say, I can take not being good enough, not being as good as someone else. You know, as I say, that's a matter of opinion. What I can't take is if someone questioned my attitude and the will to do well.
Definitely. So what would you say then to young players that are on social media nowadays? Because when I look on social media, there's players that play for the under 18s, the under 16s, and on their profile, they write player for X, Y, and Z. Obviously, you come from a different kind of generation, because you know you were only a player when you made an appearance for the first team. What would you say to these young players? Because to them, they've made it, or you know, they've got a scholarship, or they're playing for the youth team. What would you say to them?
As I say, they've grown up with it and they don't know any different. You know, it's different eras. And as I say, they don't know any different. And I think the majority of social media is trying to portray this perfect life, or showing what potential or the best things in their life, if you like. You know, and it's not always real, which is a bit of a sad thing, if from my point of view, of the posting something that maybe is not true, or trying to portray something that's not actually true. Regards to them players, what would I say? My view on it doesn't matter what you've got away from football, whether it's your social media, whether you like to spend your money, whether you go out and have a drink, whatever it may be. But as a young lad, you've got to be, your main focus has got to be football. It's a short career, gets harder every season. The amount of players wanting to be in that position is getting more and more. And as I say, you can have whatever other interest you want. To me, it don't make a difference. But you've got to give yourself the best opportunity. You've got to work as hard as you possibly can to give yourself the best shot of making a career or doing well for yourself. You know, and if it don't work out, you can look back and think, yeah, I've given it my best possible shot. I've tried everything and it didn't work. And I think you'd be able to take that. You don't want to look back at your career and think, I should have just done that bit more work in the gym, or should have worked on my fitness or my touch or whatever. You don't want to look back with regrets. And as I say, have whatever interest you want, but your main focus and give everything you possibly can has got to be towards a footballer, because it is getting harder every season. You know, lads are getting fitter, they are getting stronger. There's more resources for them. It's all offered to them on a plate, but you've got to take it. You can't let it pass you by. You know, and then one little thing that someone mentioned to me when I was coming through, and you pick up little things or little sayings or quotes that you can maybe stick to and work along. One of the youth team coaches when I was coming through at Leeds, he said, you've only made it once you retire. And when you think about that, there's a lot of truth in that. You know, you want to make a career of it and look back and think, have different achievements, you know. And the sad thing is, some of these young lads now, they get 2-year scholar, 2-year pro, and you know it can be life-changing money, and I'm sure it can be very difficult. But then 4 years can come and go in no time. You know, you've got to look at the long-term picture as well. And as I say, give it everything you've got. If it don't work out, I'm sure then you can look back and think, I've given it everything.
So growing up, did you have like in terms of your football journey, did you ever like clean players' boots, or was that a little bit too far behind? Because I don't know how old you are.
No, I used to clean boots, and it's something I still think now for young lads they should be doing. You know, and it's not a case of degrading them or making them do something that they don't want. But I look back and it does have an effect in a positive way, because, you know, the first boots I had to clean were Michael Dubry's at Leeds. And I remember that time, funny little story of going in first few days, and he was we was walking past the first team, and he started shouting up of it was on my boots, and I was like, oh, I've done something wrong here. Anyway, long story short, I was like, oh, mate, he says, right, Christmas tip, you do them fine, I'll give you 400 quid. And I think I was on £70, £80 a week at the time. So you're thinking, happy days here, like these are going to be spotless every morning. He goes, anytime there's a mistake, it goes down 50 quid. So I was like, yeah, fine, no worries. Anyway, I think it was last week in November or first week in December, he ends up going on loan. Don't think I've ever seen Michael Dubry again, and I got no money from him. So I was a bit devastated. But what I'm meaning is, it does make you, because you're doing things that, okay, you don't really want to be doing. But look at it of, that's the position that you want to get. You know, for someone to be cleaning your boots. And as I say, I think they still should be doing it now at every club. You know, and it wasn't just cleaning boots. Yes, we had to do any job that was required of us in a way. But keeps you grounded, and you know, there's that respect towards the players, and vice versa. And you know, let's be honest, not everyone makes it as well. So it installs that hard work and that into you as well.
So why do you think that stopped? Because I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, Jed Spence, before he made it as a first teamer, he was like carrying stuff into the equipment in the team coach. And I remember Conor Malley as well, who's still at the under-23, doing the same thing. Why do you think they stopped doing these things?
I guess times just change, don't they? And I'm not too sure. You know, thing is now you can't make people do what they're not supposed to. You know, if it's not in their contract of, well, it takes one or two to kick up a fuss, and I guess staff or certain people have no say on it then. But as I say, from a personal point of view, I think it's a good thing, and it's not a case of degrading them. I think it sets you up nice of the years to come, and you know where you've been to get to a certain level as well.
Definitely. So we've got a few questions from fans. As we do, we ask fans to send in a few questions. We've got a few. The first one is,
because these could be anything, couldn't they?
The first question is from Nicola Clark. She says, "What's your favourite food that you can cook?"
I say Sunday dinner, and I enjoy to do a Sunday dinner as well.
Definitely. Next question is from James Bunce, and he says, if a train was travelling at 70 miles per hour from London and another 30 miles per hour from Edinburgh, how long until Grant Hall has headed them both away?
Yeah, not too long, I guess.
Nice, short but swift. Next question from
questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're random. All right, let's pick a better one. One from Adam. Who's been the best player you've played with whilst at Borough?
I'd say Adama, just because, let's be honest, he could do probably some things that, obviously not just here or in the league, but probably anywhere in the world. You know, it was a joy to play with him. And I'm sure as fans, you know, you want to come to the football on a weekend and be entertained. And he was he's one of many reasons why you come and watch football, because when he can do something like that, it's a joy to watch.
So are you a football fan as well then? Do you like watch football when you're at home on your days off, or do you kind of switch off from football mode when you're off the pitch?
Goes from time to time. Depends how either the personal performance or the team performance going. You know, if things are going well and you're winning, you go home and watch football, no problem. Things are going not so well and you're putting Emmerdale on or something like that rather than a game at night. So I go through phases, but I suppose now we've been older. You probably look at football different in the fact of when I was younger, you probably just watch it, just like you wanted goals, or where now I'm more not study it, but you look at why they're playing that way. Or so I watch football from a different point of view nowadays.
So the next question is from Liam, and he says, "Do you ever stop running?"
Yeah, recently. I suppose this is similar of, as I said before, I believe nowadays, the way that the game's played, everyone should be fit. You know, whether you're 30 odd years of age, whether you're 18, fitness should never be a question. Okay, if you've been injured or whatever, that's a different thing. But I believe everyone should be fit. And that's one thing I do pride myself on. And certainly now getting older is something that I look at and concentrate on, of giving yourself the best chance to perform on a Saturday. And you don't want it to be down to fitness, because that's something you can do. You know, that's just a case of working hard or working extra. Regards to running, I've never been the quickest, but regards to fitness, it's something that I do hold in high regard, and something that I want to, if I want to play as long as I possibly can, that's got to be my fitness has got to be as high as it possibly can to, let's be honest, keep up with some of these young lads now.
So if a teammate of yours wasn't giving 100% or wasn't, you know, working as hard as you'd like, how would you address it? Are you someone that has a go at them, or would you take them to one side, or would you go tell the manager, or would you just not say anything? Like how would you deal with it?
Everyone will have different levels of fitness. You know, with me playing midfield, to me, you've got to be one of the fittest. So let's be honest, say a centre half or a striker, they're not required to be the same level of fitness of me, but they've got to be able to carry out the job of needed. Is it someone that, am I someone that'll go and have a go? No. But I'm someone that'll work hard and give it everything I've got, and hopefully lads can see that and follow suit. You know, I'll give you a little example of I think leading by example sometimes can work. For one, I think the game's changing. You go and have a go at someone, and you hear that there's not enough leaders in the game now sometimes. Sometimes I don't think it's that. I think the game's changing. Lads can't take it as much as they used to. You know, and you can have a go at someone and they can go under, where I think before you had to take it and get on with it. And as I said, of leading by example, there was earlier in the season, and I spoke to him, and it was with Nathan Wood. And Nathan Wood was in the gym morning, afternoon, after training. And he actually encouraged me then to be in there more, you know, because I looked at him and, yeah, okay, he's 18. But to me, there's no difference whether you're 18, whether you're 30 odd. He's giving himself the best possible chance, maximising what he can. And I looked at that and I actually thought to myself, I need to be in there a bit more. You know, if I'm going to want to carry on competing with the younger lads, if you like, coming through now, I've got to be working just as hard, if not harder. And that's one example. I think, you know, he didn't have to say anything to me. Just from me seeing him do that made me go in there more. And sometimes it can be little things of odd little sessions, but it's just having that mindset to push each other on. And as I said, I did speak to him about it. And so, as I said, even the young lads can help the older ones as well at times from their attitude and work ethic.
Obviously, you mentioned that you know, you feel that football's changed, but do you also think society's changed more than anything? Because, like you said, you know, they can't really take anything. You know, it's a lot more sensitive. There's a lot more. I'm not saying, I don't know how to word it. You know, obviously there's a lot more like rights that people tend to have. That they can complain more. I'm not saying that they shouldn't complain in the past, but do you feel that it's become where you can't, you know, criticism soon won't even be allowed at all? Because criticism, I think, is very important in any job that you do.
It's a great point, and I've looked at that throughout my career. It's not just a case of in football; it's in life how you judge things. And you're spot on there. I think in society things have changed. As you say, you can't criticise anyone now without possibly taking offence. So I think, in regards to that, it's the way that it's done. You know, you've got to be able to take criticism. Yeah, okay, it's maybe changing, but how can you then tell someone if it ain't right without taking offence? And as I say, as long as if it's done in the right manner, said in the right way, but it's difficult when society's changing as well, isn't it? Everything's not everything, but people look at everything's personal when sometimes it's not. It's just maybe you wanting more from someone or even better for someone.
Definitely. So next question is from Ted Hankey, and he says, how do you keep your hair so lovely and glossy? Is it very liquid? What would you put your hair?
Very liquid? It's not very liquid, no. I want to know if he likes it or not. I get a lot of stick.
I think people do like it, because when people found out I was interviewing you, all the questions were about your hair. They seem to love it. Yeah. They said even Neil Bounce is copying your hairstyle, apparently.
That's quite nice, because my mates at home, they just hammer me for it all the time. So maybe they're the ones that are wrong that I've been telling them all this time. How do I keep it what? So shiny or glossy?
Yeah, and silky and stuff, yeah.
Condition it every day. In the showers longest in the shower, aren't I?
So are you looking for a sponsorship deal with a conditioner? You know, Pantene Pro V or Wash and Go?
If they want to give me some free shampoo and stuff, yeah, but I'm not doing no advert now.
Fair enough. Next question is from Jude Brackett, and they ask, which Borough kit was your favourite one? Do you remember all the Borough kit you've had?
I'm not massive into the kits. The kit's a kit, I know, you just put it on and it's the opposite to what the team's wearing, isn't it? So, but then again, sometimes where I play, I think I've got that opposition's team on. What's my favourite? I like the blue and black one, actually.
That's nice, yeah. Yeah.
Because my Sunday League team was very similar to it. So it's quite nice to relate it to that.
What Sunday League team did you play for then, before Leeds?
It's called Sherwell Lions.
And what position were you?
Striker. But it was only 6-7 aside. Yeah, so like in regards to striker, up until I got into a first team, I used to play up front, even in the reserves. It was always to strike again. The first team, then it was like, yeah, players number 10, then drop back, and then drop back again.
Yeah, and then obviously now it's a centre back essentially. Last season, so you thought, end of 8 in goal, and then you can retire.
So in the Youth Cup for Leeds, I actually went in goal for 10 or 15 minutes. So I've done goal.
So if Bettinelli was to get injured or sent off and had all our subs, will you be the first player to say to the gaffer that I'm in goal?
I'd give it a go. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm tall enough now. See, like a crosser's coming in a box and you've got to come and punch it or catch it. Most of these lads are taller than me, even if I'm jumping. So maybe Dale or something like that could go in there.
So talking about goalkeepers, obviously we signed Jordan Archer in January. Do you remember your first goal at the Riverside and the impact that he had in that goal? And have you mentioned it to him?
I've not mentioned it to him. He's a lot bigger than me. So I'm just going to say I remember the goal and that's it.
So that's his first assist for a Borough player. So surely he deserves an assist bonus.
You said it, not me.
It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But stuff like that, like go into like your mind when you see players from whether it's been a bad challenge or they've made a mistake or they've done something incredible. Like, do you mention these things when players have signed, or is it just a blank slate?
No, it's a blank slate. Funny enough, we were just talking about some players there. You soon work out, don't ever judge anyone from a football pitch. And that's players you play with, players you play against, because once you cross that line, everyone's different, because let's be honest, we all want to win. It's emotion. You've got tempers. And that can bring things out in people that won't offer the pitch. So I'd never judge someone on a pitch until you've met them properly. And funny enough, when I was younger, I think my second ever appearance for Leeds, come on, and as I used to play like either up front or behind a striker, and games going on down the other end of the pitch, and I'm not going to name the players because I just don't want to. And this player grabs my bits that he covered up. The ball's nowhere near me, and he's like, "If you do out in this game, I'm going to have you." And I was like, young lad, crapping myself. And I was like, "Oh, joking." Anyway, a season and a half later, we signed this player, and he comes jogging over training pitch, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy's an absolute nutter." But he was on the pitch. I'm not going to lie, he was on the pitch, but off the pitch, got on great with him. I'm one of the nicest guys. Do anything for all the lads. He'd want to help his team, want to help out anything he can. But as you say, I soon realised things can happen on a football pitch that brings out different sides or different characters of people, which might not be there off of it.
Definitely, because obviously in any kind of job, people, they not say hold grudges, but they kind of remember things because, but being a footballer, is it different than any other job? Because essentially, like, you've got two different personalities. You've got, the Jonny Howson on the pitch and the Jonny Howson off the pitch. Yeah.
That's where everyone's different. Some people, even in football, will hold grudges. I'm not one for holding grudges. Certainly in regards to what can happen on a football pitch, because as I say, when you've got emotions running high, everyone's wanting to win, everyone's wanting to do well, and you react different when it don't go your way. And these things can happen in the heat of the moment. You can do stupid things that you maybe regret or wish you didn't do, but that's probably another reason why so many people love football, for them different reactions, different emotions. But yeah, not one to hold grudges. You can have an argument with teammate with an opposition, have a massive argument, maybe want to fight them, kick them, do whatever. But I think once that whistle goes and things have settled down, you move on. These things happen.
Definitely. And before we finish, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the Borough fans? Because obviously you've been playing for so many years, you probably haven't experienced anything like this really, with not playing for the fans and whatnot. Do you have any messages for our wonderful supporters?
I just hope we can see them soon. Certainly all at the Riverside. It has been a tough year with everything that's been going on, but there's more to life than football. We're wanting to get back, but as I say, it's more to life. Things come before football, and as I say, I just hope we can get things back to some sort of normality where fans can start to come in. Even as players, you do miss them because you want that emotion from them. You want that atmosphere. And it has been hard at times, walking out into empty stadiums. You grow up to playing football, and it's for moments when you score a goal, win a match, and you've got so many thousands of people chanting your name, chanting for the team, creating an atmosphere. And it's moments like that where, so now when we've not had it, you realise what a massive difference fans being inside football grounds do make to the match and to the profession as well. So, as I say, hope to see them soon.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Jonny, and we wish you the very best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine, and hopefully you take care as well.